Hey Jay, how's it going today?
I'm doing all right today. How are you?
I am doing good. I'm glad to hear that you're doing all right. I'm going to take that as a positive. What do you think?
Yeah, a little bit. Today's a good day.
Okay, good, good. The sun is out and we have some good energy going. So I'm glad you're back. Today, I was hoping to kind of dive into actually working with some coping skills and, things that might help you with some of the things we've discussed. So just to kind of look back, I know you told me that you're feeling, spirally sometimes. It's a lot going on as far as controlling those emotions, controlling those feelings, and it may be kind of getting in the way of your job and your everyday life and or socials settings. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is, something you can deal with. Like we can work towards this with the scales here. So, that being said, have you ever tried any coping skills before I dive in?
Um, I try to kind of just take a deep breath and argue with myself. Like
Okay.
like um just in the sense of it's not that bad. You can calm down. It's not a big deal. Chill out type stuff. So that's kind of what I try to do to cope.
Okay. No, I'm hearing you. And that's almost that's a step in the kind of right direction. Self-talk, maybe a little bit more positive. I think you may be a tad hard on yourself, but I understand your frustration. That may lie with some frustrations in the moment, and we can catch that and maybe turn it just a little bit, maybe more so telling yourself everything's okay. Like, don't be mad at yourself, just calm down. That positive self talk is something that really goes a long way. So, I was going to start with mindfulness. So, when you're having those moments, instead of stopping and being like, stop it, what are you doing? Like, calm down. More like, why? What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? And what should I do about it? Those are the three main questions you should ask. So, what do you think your first warning signs are?
I get either really shaky or really sweaty.
So, your warning signs, great. As soon as that kind of happens, you should be starting to ask yourself, what's going on? Like, what is triggering me? Slow down, take a look around and ask yourself, what do think about all your senses. And once you're able to pinpoint the problem or the trigger, we can slow down, take those deep breaths, and maybe you'll be able to see a better result. So, in work, when you've had one of those moments, are you able to look back and see what the trigger was? If not, that is completely fine.
I think it's just a general sense of overstimulation.
Hmm.
Because you got the intercom, you've got the customers, and so there's every
Hmm.
single line is open and every single customer is in a line, and then you got customers stopping you to ask for something, and then you've got cashiers needing something, and you got an office clerk needing something, and then another staff member needs something, and then you get a phone call. And on top of all of that, you're still writing the schedule.
I
So
can hear you. Yes.
so that's just kind of, I think it's just general overwhelm and overstimulation is really I'm sure it starts before then, like the shakiness and the sweatiness. I just I don't know that I've been paying enough attention um to how I'm feeling or what's going on until I'm in that moment where I can barely hold on to things, or I'm starting
Mhm.
to hyperventilate.
No, I hear you. So it's a lot of things. So a
Yeah.
lot of things. It's a buildup, which I get it. So I guess I'm gonna kind of curve it, and we're gonna talk more about grounding ourselves.
Okay.
So and it's completely fine because sometimes people have like one to two things that trigger them, and we're able to narrow it down. And what am I feeling? Why? But it sounds more like all of a sudden rush a wave of all this stuff, and you're like, oh, everything in this room is not my friend, and that's fine. So grounding ourselves. My advice would be to, at that point, once you've lost control and you're like, oh my God, I can't even barely hear the person talking to me and they're right here. First of all, one, excuse yourself. In your day, there has to be time or a talk with your manager to prep for these moments and say, or whoever your higher up is, and say, I need a second, step out of the environment to somewhere quiet, even if it's a rush. We have to put yourself first. Even if you step aside a little bit and then you look into your senses. So, what do you smell? What do you hear? What can you touch? Just anything to make sure you come back to baseline. Hold on to something, breathe, look at something that isn't moving, look away from all the madness and the chaos, even if you're looking at the wall, something plain, even if you need to get a drink of water. I know water doesn't have taste, but to me, it's a cool down. It's the use of taste, using your senses to bring you back to baseline, which is calm. Is that something you think is possible in your setting?
I think in
Nope.
some instances I
Mhm.
can do that. Um, in like most of the instances I can.
If there's a rush, let's say, and everything is madness, even to turn around for 2 seconds and be like, I'm sorry, give me 1 second, ma'am, or whoever's talking, and just look this way, find a focus point, which is of nothing, something that's plain on the wall, and just hold on to whatever's nearby, a breath, count down from 5, and try to restart. Now, that would be worst case. We need to hurry up and try to get back to baseline. That's not to stress you out, just a quicker version. If you're able to step out and maybe go to the break room or even step out of the store for 2 seconds and breathe the fresh air and kind of use your senses that way, that may be a way to bring you back and get control. And after time and using this kind of technique, it may become second nature. Like you'll find yourself like looking away and okay, I'm just gonna try this one more time. Do you think that's something do you think that's something that would fit your lifestyle that you may be able to engage in? And if the answer is no, I would completely accept that and we can try a different alternative.
Yeah, I think I can, like if it's just like real quick, because the customers can be a little testy. Um
Mhm. I bet.
um but I think like I can do like a real quick take a second to kind
Mhm.
of recenter myself.
Good. So you know what your store looks like. So let's say I'm a customer, I'm talking to you. The phone is ringing and there's like 10 people in line, but I'm also not in line. And I'm like, I'm not happy with this, that, and the third. And you need to fix this right now, right this minute. And you hear all this other commotion. What would be your first move? And you're feeling sweaty.
Did you say you were not in line?
I'm not in line, so there's a line over there.
Honestly, I would be like, I'm really sorry to hear that. Um, you know, I think I can, like, I can do like a real quick take a second to kind of recenter myself. if I'm at the customer service desk, then I'm really sorry to hear that. I do have to work through this line. Um, I'll be right with you. And then of course you're gonna get the sassy. And sometimes I do like if there's a customer, like if my customer that I'm helping is super nice and work withable, I do like while I'm handling their thing, take those deep breaths and really just kind of focus on what's in my hands at that moment, what I can fix right now.
Mhm.
Um,
Good
and
job.
that kind of helps.
Yeah, good to break it apart. Ask yourself, what can I handle? And let's say you need to handle this line right now. Even the in between of you going from this to that, it's time to breathe, feel yourself surroundings. What can you narrow down? I think next time you're in this moment or something like this moment, I would love to see for you to come back and let me know if touch, sound, taste, all your senses, tuning into that a little bit and slowing it down, if that might help you. And if you come back to me and we're like, I don't know, I feel like I couldn't grasp it, then we'll try something else. But I would love to
Okay,
see you give it a shot. How does that sound?
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, then I think that's a good place to stop. I think I'm excited to see what you have to say when I see you next time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.